What's up, YouTube? I've been getting a lot of requests recently to build decks around Braum and Lux, the two newly buffed champions from the recent balance patch. And for some weird reason, people always request me to play Braum. No idea why. But anyway, of course I couldn't refuse, and I actually had two pretty interesting deck ideas which are quite different, and I want to showcase them both in this video. I'll start off with this one, which is a mid-range Poro list, and the other one I'll show afterwards. It's gonna be a Feel the Rush control list. So this list is pretty straightforward. The core idea is basically that Lux has some great synergy with Aurora Porealis, not only generating a laser immediately at burst speed, but also getting two more Poro Snax, therefore having enough fuel to generate another laser afterwards. And of course, most of the deck is Poros, and they benefit greatly from Poro Snax. We also main deck 3 Poro Snax, one of the core cards in this. And all of this, of course, also synergizes with Braum at the same time, who, after he gets hit for the first time, spawns a Mighty Poro. And that explains most of the unit choices in this list. So, we start off with 1-drops Lonely Poro and Plucky Poro, just to have enough 1-drops available to us. The other idea, of course, is the Proto Poro, but I think, generally speaking, the tough keyword is gonna be more impactful than the impact keyword. As silly as it sounds, but the tough keyword is just more efficient for trading. And since this is a mid-range deck and not an aggro burn deck, we usually need to gain board control first, and then we can beat our opponent by attacking over the course of a couple of turns. We have Poro Herder, of course, the most synergistic 2-drop. I also play Everosen Sentries because this deck can be a bit short on draw sometimes, as well as just having a nice smoothened out curve with an additional 2-drop. Now 3-drops, Mighty Poro is the only one. This is also one of the key carries in our deck because it benefits greatly from Poro Snax. This ensures that we don't just get chump blocked infinitely, but we actually get damage through on each overwhelm attack. In the 4-drop slot, we have Fabled Poro, one of the newer additions to the Poro archetype, and one that makes it finally viable and somewhat competitive to play. Of course, this is kind of a combo tool, and you want to play this once you have already flooded the board, once you have already played some of those Poro Snax, and this is just a great tool to snowball. Now, the spells is where this gets interesting. We have access to some of the best combo tricks in the game in these region combinations, so we play triple Sharpside and triple Trojan. Besides that, in this deck, Poro Snax, of course, is an insane combo trick as well. You can often attack with a bunch of Poros and your opponent won't know whether or not you're holding a Snax, whether or not to block all of them, and that will usually give you a lot of good trades. I really like 3 Sisters as a 2-off or 3-off. It's very flexible. We'll often use this for Fury of the North, but sometimes also as a control tool. Of course, 3 Sisters into Entomb is already immediately a Lux laser as well. And we have Porealis, I already explained, one of the key cards in this deck. And I personally like to play 1 or 2 pack mentalities as a finisher. Again, on one side, it gives you a Lux laser immediately. On the other side, we'll often have situations where we have a bunch of small Poros, either from Lonely Poro or Plucky Poro or the Porealis generated ones, but they don't have the overwhelm keyword yet. They might be big, but they'll just get chump blocked, and that's a great way to push through with a big attack. Alternatively, of course, we could play Heart of the Fluffs. Once we already have a big board lead, that of course can just be an effective finisher, but for my own personal taste, there are too many mini morphs, hushes, equinoxes, and so on. It's fairly easy to counter, and I personally prefer Pack Mentality as a finisher. Now, as some general advice in this deck, Poro Snax is one of the key cards. Unless we're playing against a super aggro burn deck, we usually want to be looking for Poro Snax. And we also like to have an Aurora Porealis or a Lux, maybe even a Braum in our starting hand, if we already have a good hand, if we already have a bit of early curve. But yeah, this is one of the best, or both of these are some of the best tools that we don't run out of steam, and we need at least one of those, ideally 2 of those reliably, to close out the game. And apart from that, the deck is fairly straightforward to play. We kind of just want to curve out, buff our stuff, snowball the board, and finish with something big. Now, 2 things to consider that I want to mention. One is spell mana is incredibly important with this. Having access to these combo tricks and also Poro Snax, it's often worth it to bank spell mana in the early game. Braum's Take Heart also a great reason to keep a bit of spell mana open if we double draw him. And make sure you watch out for hand space with Aurora Porealis. Keep in mind it generates 4 cards in hand, and if you have Lux on the board, it also generates a 5th one in form of the laser. So make sure you don't overflood your hand there. And I have one pretty epic gameplay example for this deck here that I want to show to you guys.
Is it the mustache? Who knows?
Oh no! I know that deck. Okay, we have a pretty good opening hand though.
Nothing escapes my watch.
One foot in front of the other.
In Avarosa's name.
Okay, our opponent's got an even better opening hand.
I can do this.
Look out for reavers. The heart is the strongest muscle.
Unless it's made of marshmallow, apparently.
Can't really deal with Lulu. Jeez!
So you want to be a sunflower, eh?
So I could sharp side take out the eye bags. I don't think that's worth it. I need to contest the champions.
Think hard. Think strong. It is easy, see?
Okay.
Whoa, don't eat that!
To protect all. Unyielding.
Go on, Pip! Just like the Elefloop said! Perfecto! Tremendo!
Stand behind Braum.
It's probably the biggest jump block we'll ever get. Man, I need to run Sega confident on this.
You're not alone. Braum is here.
Good pull.
Let's show our friend that you met my shield.
I could YOLO swing with a plucky Poro. Snax, sharp side. That seems like way too much of an investment. One Twin Disciplines or Pay Cascade on my opponent's side is enough.
Good luck. Have fun. Time to celebrate.
At least he doesn't have Mountain Sojourners. Yet.
Starting your climb, TR. It's about time.
I'll see you at the top.
Small and mighty.
Whoa, you gotta focus.
Okay, their hand might be out of value. Maybe we can flip the tides of this game. See what Exalted Poro gets. Fury. Been testing Lux decks the past few days and she still feels not good enough. Yeah, I think the only real competitive deck is Lux Poppy Shellfolk. I mean, this is technically still winnable with... Like, we outvalue our opponent big time. We just kind of need to not die this round. Which, unless my opponent goes for Overwhelm, should be doable. Okay. Yeah, the double draw of Pale is annoying though.
No time to rest.
Are we failing the Taric Lulu test? I mean, we're playing Braum Lux Poros. There's a realistic chance that we're failing the test, yes.
To preserve beauty and protect all life.
Help is on the way. Eat and grow strong.
I don't want to overcommit here. We don't really have a shortage of Poros. I don't really like double sharp sighting here when my opponent still has 4 mana. Alright, carry me, Porealis. Eh, not the best Poro pulls. We're starting to grow. Hopefully outgrow our opponent at some point. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It is easy, see? Time for talking to. Show me your best.
And now we'll start picking the board apart. Let's go. Okay, rude. I can only play one Snax this turn. I should probably replay Braum though. Save the Snax for next turn. Braum. Oh, actually, Plunder Poro.
Climb well, and good luck on your journey.
Told you. No Mountain Sojourners yet. So I don't know if we outgrow this anymore.
The heart is the strongest muscle.
Unless it's made of marshmallow, apparently.
If I play a Poro, I have more mana for combat tricks open. Then I can play both Snax and both of these. FF angle? I'm not sure if we're losing this. We at least have a good chance.
Next up now. Skipping's faster.
Unyielding.
Tremendo!
Stand behind
I like just playing one Snax here. And keeping the rest, like I play Lux and then I keep as much spell mana as I can. Alright, we took out one unit, let's go. Oh, that literally scales infinitely. We also do with this hand though. Think about it.
Everywhere I go, the light follows.
We get 2 lasers next turn. What do we even shoot? Sojourners? I think Sojourners is the scariest card, right? Oh wait, we don't get 2 lasers next turn because we overdraw. If we open up with Porealis, we don't get the laser. I should probably open attack here first.
This is fun, yes? Left for a snack?
This could be a bad idea. This game is way too dark. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything else from a Lux Braum versus Lulu Taric. All the champions are gonna be leveled soon. Now the issue is my opponent can protect the Sojourners.
Oh, he likes you.
I should have played this. Well, I kind of had to.
La 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 la. La 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 la. Be free. Whoa. Whoa, you gotta focus. Better, brighter than before.
Okay, we have one more Lux laser as of right now.
No more holding back.
It is easy, see?
Ooh. All right, we need to survive one more turn, and I honestly don't think how, like, don't see how we can lose here. Then it gets wide. Eat and grow strong. Second Sojourners is gonna be nasty. My opponent might have it. Imagine he has Ghost. Our opponent, worst player 2, he requested a deck review a couple of days ago for exactly this deck, so I know it doesn't play Ghost.
To protect all.
Let's use all the colors. You're so hungry.
Is there a play where you replace Braum with a Fabled Poro? Maybe next turn. Depends on how much stuff survives here.
Hope crystallizes. Never submit.
Could just block with Lux at this point, to be honest.
You are safe with Braum.
Nah.
Think strong.
This plays around Pale, this would play around Twin. Opponent probably runs both. Third Homecoming. Alright, I mean, we should OTK on the backswing. Let's be realistic here. Chad Poro into Overwhelm. Oh, we don't even need this anymore. Fabled Poro, maybe? But then we don't have mana for Pack Mentality, and I really want to play Pack Mentality here. Wait, we can go for 2 lasers instead. Oh, it's unbuffed. I played the wrong one. Damn it. Oh no, it does say +5/+5. So then it's probably a visual bug.
No more holding back!
Well, the funny thing at this point is that just playing Poros might actually be better than playing Pack Mentality, just because they're so huge already. This should be the better finisher.
You're Taric, the protector.
Climb well, and good luck on your journey.
Screw it, let's do it. Oh, no. Definitely not lethal. Guess we'll just keep on stacking those Poros. Man, Braum hyper carried this game. Wait, I can finish this round if I play Sinister Poro. I miscounted mana.
Begin in battle.
Good luck. Have fun. First we fight.
So 2 units go through. Yeah, it's lethal.
Have you met my shield?
GG!
No further.
Careful.
And yeah, it was visual. So we can see by the damage number. Outscaled! Damn, that was a really, really good game.
Would it help if I apologized?
Alright, I hope you enjoyed the Poro gameplay. And as promised, here's the second deck, the more control-ish version of Braum Lux. Now, the core idea here was that Braum and Lux can control the mid-game very well. They're both sturdy units, they provide some removal, and that means we usually can buy enough time to finish the game with a Field Rush. Helping us to get there, we play a bunch of AoE removal. We play Blighted Ravine, Avalanche, Ice Shard. And to ensure that we don't just kill off our own units the whole time and basically waste resources, we are very low on units in general. This has a couple of benefits, and one of the cutest ones here is we can play Omen Hawk and have very good odds of hitting Braum and basically return him to his former glory as a one-attack challenger. And to ensure that we don't just hit Braum and then only draw him 10 turns later, we also play Triple Entreat. Entreat, of course, is also pretty good for double drawing Braum because, of course, his champion spell is Take Hard. And that's just incredibly good for most matchups, having something like a 4-9 regeneration challenger just dominating the board, taking out a unit per turn. Besides that, just as in the previous deck, we play some of the best combo tricks we have available to us just because they synergize with both of our champions. Also, Three Sisters, similar reasons. It's a flexible tool for either control or aggression with Fury of the North, just allowing some good trades. Of course, can also be used for a Lux Laser. To make sure we don't always brick our early game, we actually play some units, but they're disguised as spells. So Remembrance is very good if you bank mana on turn 1, bank mana on turn 2. You can play a big unit on turn 3 immediately. If we don't have it in the early game, we just wait until we have Lux on the board, do the same thing, but additionally get a laser for it. Apart from that, I like Harsh Winds just as an additional immediate laser generator as well as a stalling tool. And I also kind of like to main deck a cheeky take card just to have higher odds of really juicing up our Braum and making him a true carry in this deck. Keep in mind that once he's leveled, we can actually generate a lot of units by using our AoE cards like Ice Shard or Avalanche. We don't only remove our opponent's stuff, but we also get more blockers or attackers ourselves. And I personally like to play 1 or 2 cheeky Howling Abysses in this deck. Again, playing units without main decking them basically, and also having additional win conditions in case maybe Fill the Rush gets denied or aloofed, just having additional win conditions and consistent value generation. I think I already explained the game plan for this deck pretty well. Some interesting tech options I want to leave out there though. I could see a Verosan Sentries be good, maybe instead of Omen Hawks, just because this deck can sometimes be short on draw. Kindly Tavern Keepers can be very good if you run into a lot of burn aggro. This deck could maybe use a bit more healing besides only Blighted Ravine. And another idea is main decking Succession. Of course, this spell has been long forgotten, but it's a similar idea as Remembrance. Main decking units without, well, main decking them, just playing them in form of spells. It generates lasers, and it also allows us to have some proactive plays in the early game. Now, I'll be quite honest right away, both of the decks I highlighted in this video are not quite top tier. They're definitely playable, they can compete in the meta, but they're not decks I would recommend for climbing. Nonetheless, I had a blast playing them, they surely are super fun, and also for this one I have a very interesting gameplay example. Always full mull for Omen Hawks. Or Remembrances, I suppose. Depending on the matchup. Remembrance into Braum looks good.
Meow to you. Did someone get lost in the time streams?
I might need Troll Chant actually. Take the first swing, see what happens.
Introduce you to science.
Protect the moose. PhD is a bit too sketchy to have this go to 1 HP against.
Look, a thing.
L, that's not ours.
I mean, I feel like I'm playing Ice Shard next turn anyway. It's a bit tricky. I really prefer to have Braum hit by the Ice Shard. I think I just do this first.
You never.
Next turn I can Ice Shard, then take hard Braum. Well, if this does find another Braum. I don't think I can protect the moose much longer. Troll Chant there isn't bad, but it's also not good enough, really. Nice. Spade out development first.
You dropped something.
I dropped everything.
We can always rely on you to keep us safe.
First we fight. Show me your best.
That worked quite perfectly so far.
It is easy, see?
Time. I need more time.
Okay, this guy is gonna be swole. We're also very fortunate our opponent just keeps whiffing crystals. What cam do I use? Logitech C920 or something?
Meow to you.
Don't remember the exact number. Okay, not having proactive plays is a bit awkward.
I don't want to eat whatever woke you up.
There we go.
We can do this.
Feels good.
Look how we have grown.
Oh my goodness, that was actually insane.
Let's show our friends the door. Have you met my shield?
It's not safe.
And you're telling me this guy doesn't use roids? I will not believe it.
Same calling card from our other case. Better, brighter than before.
I set up open attack lethal. My opponent probably thinks Crystal somehow protects them. So my idea is to use the mana, maybe bait this out and then Fury defensively.
No more holding back.
Okay, just go for another laser here actually. Take hard Fury. Like take hard Poro. No, wait. This makes more sense because of Overwhelm. Actually, it doesn't make a difference. Why is this deck winning? I don't get it.
Fire streets.
How much does a Fury here do? That's 9. Laser, 13. 13 and the Poro army, or I entomb blocks.
Left for a snack?
And still have a Poro army. Oh wait, with the ice shard, it actually would have been lethal, right? So Poro hits for 6 with Fury for 9. I ice shard, I did 10 damage, I generate a laser. Amateur streamer missed lethal again.
It is easy, see?
Oh, double Lux, let's go.
I think we have something on that case. Let the light guide you. The same calling card from our other case.
I'm just scared that my opponent might have... Oh no, they can't have copied crystals, right? With Archivist. Wait, doesn't that give me the unit? Okay, I threw this game. Oh, they copied Mystic shots, alright. That was the practical perfectionist polls. Unfortunate.
There's always a light in the darkness.